wasn't that strong. I knew that. And she said, well, I know this lady in Singapore, Sherry Din, but I already talked to her about 4Life. She's not interested. And I thought, yeah, she's not interested in you. Mm-hmm. Because you didn't present it right. You were very weak. Mm-hmm. I said, what's her phone number? And then I called her up. I said, hey, Sherry. I said, I'm involved in 4Life with Linda, and I want to talk to you. I want to meet with you. I want to have lunch with you. I know you're not interested. That's okay. That's fine. But I'm going to tell you what we're going to be doing anyway. And if you're still not interested, okay, fine. We can just be friends, right? Mm-hmm. And she said, okay. You know what? I met with her. After 2 days, I called Linda back. I said, what's your ID number? And I signed her up. And then I said, okay, Sherry. I said, who are your leaders? Who are people that you know? Well, she brought in Sadiq Din. I went over to his house, met Sadiq Din. I can remember that evening. It was so hot. He had no air conditioning in that room. It was horrible. And then I was explaining to Sadiq Din what I wanted to do. That was the beginning. He's a platinum, international diamond, Sadiq Din. Sherry is a gold. And so that was how I drove that leg. I had another leader, same thing. You know, when I finally, as I mentioned, you know, and some of you know this, oh yeah, I almost forgot the best part of my story. You know, back when I was getting started, that I used to go down what I call a dream street, and that is all these beautiful mansions, these homes in this rich area of the city. And I would go for walks, just walk down those sidewalks and look at these homes, these manicured lawns, everything. And I would think to myself, you know, yes, this is the way it's going to be. This is the way my life is going to turn out. And that's the kind of house I'm going to have. And this is the way my yard's going to look. And I'm going to have rose gardens and all that. Mm-hmm. And, you know, and most people think I'm out of my mind, you know, at the time when I was getting started. But, you know, in 18 months, I was there. In 18 months, I was moving into one of those homes. In 18 months. You can clap now. It's okay. That's funny because I guess I should have took more recall today. But the thing about it is, that was my goal. My goal was very simple. It was to get my business going and achieve those simple things. Getting into my dream home, getting into my dream car. But you know what? Once I achieved that dream, did I dream for it anymore? No. No. I said, well, there's got to be more. Life can't just be about just a big, beautiful house and a big, beautiful car or whatever. You know, it can't be just about that. You know? So what did I do? At that time, when 4Life was registering products in Asia, I made a commitment. You know, Dave Daughtry thought I sort of went into retirement. He was so shocked when I came back. Actually, I had got an email from a doctor out in Korea, and he says, if you want to do business with me, you need to come to Korea, and you need to come now. Well, I'd never left the United States in my life. So, and matter of fact, I just had a passport because it was cool. I never used it. And so when I was at a party that night in South Carolina, I can remember that, and I read the email and I thought, oh my God. Yeah. And so I went out and told the friends, I said, hey guys, everybody, I'm leaving for Seoul, Korea tomorrow morning. And that's what I did. And of course my mother and my relatives were all saying, has he lost his mind? He doesn't know that language. He doesn't know what to do when he gets over there. And I flew off, and matter of fact, it was funny because when I got to Seoul, when I flew in, the cab driver didn't speak any English, and I said, do you know where the Renaissance Hotel is? Now Seoul is like New York City, right? And so he said, I said, good. Got in the car. Where does he take me? Takes me through the military compound. I got to see all these angry Koreans with AK-47s all along, all these checkout points in that area. And then on the other side is all these Americans with AK-47s looking angry.
Oh my
And I thought,
God.
good grief, man, these people are into war and killing and all that. How are we going to do MLM here? So, but that was the beginning. And so after I finally met with the doctor, and then I said, okay. And again, what did I do? What did I do with my leaders? What was the question I always asked them? Who do you know, John? His name was John. He had an English name. But Dr. Wong is what we called him. And I said, introduce me to your friends. Let's get started. And so we went around the peninsula of Korea doing meetings, and then finally he took me out to Guam, and then that's when I said, wow, this was my childhood dream. Okay, now I'm starting to understand things better. And then I went back home, and that dream house wasn't important to me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't. Matter of fact, I sold everything, and I said, I'm out of here. I'm out of here, because my life is not about houses and cars.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I want to go overseas and try to understand this world we live in, you know. And so that's what I did. I went to Guam, got me a place right there on the beach where I could look at the ocean every morning. Well, that was when I'm there. And then I would fly out and go to Korea. But again, what would I do with my leaders? I'd always check back with my leaders back in the United States, and I'd say, okay, who do you know? And then one of my goals said, well, we're shipping product to the Philippines. Will you go over to the Philippines? I said, is it safe? And she said, oh, yeah, it's safe. Yeah, it's safe for you in the United States, but you're not going, right? And I said, all right, fine, I'll go. Just tell them to be ready for me. And it was funny, when I got to the Philippines and I was at my hotel room, then I was taking a shower and I heard and I opened the door and there were like 11 faces out there. Half of them were girls, right? I just had a towel around me and hi. They said, we want to see you. I said, yeah, we're going to do a meeting tonight. They said, can we come in? Let me get dressed first. We had 50 people at our first meeting. See? And like I said, the lady in Canada, I was just using that example earlier, but then same thing. I said, Linda, you're not really doing anything. Come on, who do you know? And that's when she said, Sherry Dent. And I said, fine, I'm going to go see her. And that's the way it went. And then with my other leaders said, will you go to China? Communist China? Is it safe? It was always like that. When the companies announced they were going to Taiwan, I didn't know anybody in Taiwan. That's right, I didn't know anybody in Taiwan. And I thought to myself, well, what does that matter? You didn't know anybody anyway. That's the way you started this whole thing. You didn't know anybody. You just got out there and you found them. So I thought, okay, fine. So I packed my bag, got on a plane, flew to Taipei, Taiwan. It's part of my journey. I didn't understand that out of that I would get a beautiful family. And when I got there, I just checked in at the hotel and I thought, okay, what do you do now? Well, I don't know. Guess go down to the New Skin building. So I went down to the New Skin building. They had a beautiful, big building. New Skin's very strong there. Walked right in. These Chinese were looking at me and they said, our upline Blue Diamond just walked in. They come up, are you our upline Blue Diamond? And I said, I'd like to be. Met one of the leaders, and so he signed up right away. The thing was, I was growing. And now I did things in my life I never did before. Now I was working through my leaders. I was increasing their checks. Linda, by the way, she's got a pretty good deal, doesn't she? I went out there, and I also developed another leg for her, people that she knew. She's got Sadiq and Sherry Den under her. Heck, she's sitting in Canada on a farm making $30,000 a month, and she hasn't done anything. Do I care? No. Because if that's her dream, congratulations. I hope you got something more than cows in mind, but, but she is living her own life the way she wants to. And I applaud that. And so that's all I did was I kept asking my leaders, who do you know? Who do you know? And then I went on to Thailand. Same thing. Same thing. I kept growing. My income kept going up. My checks kept going up. I mean, 10,000. I can remember when I was making 5 and then it was 10, and I thought, wow, what would it be to make 20,000 a month? I've never made $20,000 a month. And I just keep doing what? Working through my leaders. Working through my leaders. Always staying in touch with my leaders. Always talk, how is it going? What can I do to help you? Who have you got? And again, like with Sherry, for example, she would say, okay, Jeff, I need you to run with me. Can you run with me? Sure, I'll run with you. She's a little crazy. I mean, she wants to do this at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning stuff. You know what I mean? I am serious. We're working hard, doing meeting with people 2, 3 in the morning. I'm saying, sure, you are killing me. Can't we go crash? And that's the way it was. Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia. Then one of my other leaders said to me, hey, they said, hey, will you go into Thailand? Went over there, met this guy who was about that tall. At the airport, he was holding up a sign, Jeff. I couldn't see him when I got there. I was like, what happened? He's not here. Called up one of the friends. He said, oh, well, I called him. He's there. I finally found him. And he was a Buddhist monk for 20 years. Buddhist monk for 20 years. And I said, how do you go from Buddhist monk 20 years to a network marketer in a suit? And he said, I was tired of being poor. What he told me. So what did I do with him? I said, okay. Yeah, I said, have you been involved in this type of a business? Yeah, I had a big group in another company. I said, you did? I said, so again, what am I doing? Working through my people. I said, okay. And then he's got an upline, which that upline benefits from everything I'm doing, right? So the heat is going up. The heat always rises. And when the heat rises, or it's just like when the tide comes in, as John F. Kennedy said, all ships what? Rise. That's right. And so that's what I was doing. I was simply putting more heat into the lines. And what does that do to the people up there? They start scrambling. They think, I need to start taking this more serious. Well, yes, you do. It was that kind of thing, And I started running with him all over the place in Thailand. So I slept I remember he took me to his parents' house in North Thailand, and it was a wooden house. They don't have windows. I mean, they just have shutters and open space. There's no glass. There's no air conditioning. It's hot. And then they put blankets on the floor. That's my bed. That's my bed, sleeping on a wood floor, right? I'm laying there sweating my brains out, right, at night, thinking about that song, Help Me Make It Through the Night, Oh, God, help me make it through the night. I'm sweating my brains out here. But it's an honor because it's his parents' home. Yeah. So I'm smiling. Oh, what an honor. Thank you so much. Inside I'm going, oh, man, will I make it through this? See, that's the thing.